Happy hump
Happy,
day, everybody.
hump it up, bitches.
Hey, what's your shirt say? I pooped today. Is that one of, and you're too tall. Oh, is that a number two?
Yeah.
Uh, is that one of your basketball things?
No, this was when I was sick. You're in the hospital, and
Yes.
then they fill you up with drugs. This is 9 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then you can't leave the hospital until you poop. Are you familiar with this process?
Yes, from having babies. Yes.
So they want to make sure that you pooped. So Christy bought me this. So I was odd. She bought this as a joke. I loved it. And then if I would wear it outside, she didn't like it. It's like, you bought
It's
it.
only private.
I
We
like
have
it.
our own private rules we make about our gifts.
It's crazy. But it was fun. I love it. I pooped today.
That's great. So today is Wednesday, April 21st. I'm Melinda McKinsey.
I'm Tom Wise.
We're here to unpack some shit with you today. So tell me what you got. What's going on with you?
Well, the family's still here, which is exciting. Patrick and I and Jimmy just went out for a nice little walk. It's beautiful. It's been kind of a rainy weekend. Of course, when you get visitors in, I mean, is it not? I guess it's not all the time, but very often it's like they don't get the best of it. But it's a beautiful day out today.
So glad.
And we've had a great trip. I played a new game yesterday.
Games. What kind of game? What'd you guys do?
It was a game called Code Names.
I feel like I've heard of that. Was it fun? Remind me what it does.
It was fun. It's kind of a little bit like Password, where you're trying to make people think of a word, but instead of so the whole screen has, let's say, 30 words on it.
Okay.
And my job is to make you come up with the 10 words of these 30 that I want you to say. And then their job is to get you to say the 10 words that they want you to say, which are 10 different. And then you got 10 words that don't mean anything. They're just kind of, yeah. And then there's one card that if you hit it, the whole thing blows
Everybody's
up.
like yelling out and stuff.
No. It's more like I text you on this game. I text you code names.
Oh.
And I text you my clue. I'm the clue master. And I text my group, and they've got to select the 1, 2, or 3 or 4 words out of that whole group that I'm trying to get you to respond by saying, if I say bird, feather is one word, and nest is another word, and fly is another word. And then which one of those 3 does he want me to say? So it's kind of it's a fun game.
I bet. Have you played Balderdash?
I think I played it at some point. Yes.
I like yelling games. I like games where people are yelling. And Balderdash is fun because it basically are cards. On one side, it has different categories like years or people or movies, and the other side are the answers. So it'll say like, the rabbit ran down the street, and then if it's a movie, you have to write the synopsis of what you think that movie is, and then the person reads all the answers and you have to decide what the truth is, right? So they read the answer on the card, and it's hilarious when you play with really clever people. And I feel like you and I know a lot of really clever people. It's funny how you can start manipulating your answers to certain people because you know which lies they'll believe.
Right. And that's how this game is too, because they say if you play with the same person all the time, instead of just going, because 2 is kind of a safe thing. 1 is almost, you're taking no risk at all because you can get them to 1. But you can clue in with somebody, and all of a sudden you in 3 and 4 answers for 1 clue.
Yes.
Because that you start getting that radar.
I love that. Well, how fun. So tell me, I know there's a lot of heavy stuff going on in the news today, but I'm sure that there are some fun things as well that you would like to discuss.
I have one on Facebook I enjoyed. So every now and again, you have somebody that does something frivolous on Facebook. I'm a member of, food, like a food group, people taking pictures of their food. And so the one gal who's in charge says, here are 6 things. Which one is your favorite? Grilled cheese, tomato sandwich, stuff like that, right? Egg salad. So we're just passing the time, stirring up, meaningless conversation. And of course, one guy responds to this by saying, they all look tasty, But unfortunately, that bread would have too many carbs, equaling sugar for me. And I have to be careful because I'm close to being pre-diabetic.
Get out of the game, sir. No one wants to play with you.
This key must be a riot at parties.
Get out. Read the room, fella.
Why does what? It's a simple game. We're not asking for your life story of why shit's happening to you.
Yeah.
I'm pre-diabetic. It all looks good, but I can't have any because those breads, the carbohydrates will turn into sugars, which will affect me because I'm
Take that to
pre-diabetic.
your therapy, sir. We don't want to play with you on Facebook anymore.
And then whether this was a snide remark or a heartful remark, the woman who posted the original
Yes.
said, "Stay safe" with a huggy emoji.
It's best to do it that way, right? What else can you do?
I want to write down, "Go F yourself. Nobody cares."
I feel like you can't even say thoughts and prayers anymore because it became such a cynical thing of a non-response. You can't say thoughts and prayers anymore because that became like a, oh, we wish people weren't dying thoughts and prayers, you know? So it's just like,
Well, it's interesting because now, I mean, when somebody announces their dad has died, that's a serious thing, but there's only 4 responses that people can give.
I try really thoughtfully respond with an expression instead of just a heart emoji because you know it's
that's a life-changing or life direction changing event when your parent dies or a dog dies. I mean, I'm all about, many people are closer to their animals than they are to their sister they haven't seen in 9 years, you know?
You're so right. And I have to say, you know, when I lost Reagan, I appreciated your kindness so much. And I'll tell you, Tom, and I know this sounds so out of balance or out of whack. It really taught me how you responded to the death of Reagan because, you know, she was my world. I had her for 15 years and I had her, she did everything with me. And, you know, you're a guy and I know that you have sympathy, but I also have been familiar with men that are like, you know, get over it, move on. And I have to thank you so much because your first response was, you know, because our show was the next day. She died on a, you know, I think a Monday or a Tuesday, and then we had a show the next day. And so I had my daughter call you because I could not speak.
Right.
And right away, absolutely. And I just appreciated it so much because I think in the back of my mind, because I'm so used to being bullied, I thought, oh, what if he gets mad? What if he says, like, you know, isn't that awful that I was worried that you would be like, get over it. It's a dog, you know?
It's funny. I think about, you know what? There was a version of me that would be, you know, the 35-year-old, the 27-year-old version of me would be like that. It's your dog. Come on, let's go, you know?
Yeah.
But then it's like, I've been able to tamp down that side of my personality, which is to be cynical and snide and, you know, everything's a joke. Yeah, I think that's, you know, it's like, well, you know what? Maybe not everything is a joke, but whatever. I get that from that story that my I tell about the guy who gives me this car for the weekend when I'm 21 and the thermostat ends up blowing up. Ever tell this story?
I don't remember this at all.
My brother Bernie is like 6 years older than me.
Okay.
Put me at 18. I said 21, but put me at 18, a little bit younger. Those boys are all going to go away for the weekend, you know, to wherever. Buddy Charlie Heaney tosses me his keys to his brand new Mustang Cobra and says, "Hey, have fun. We'll be gone for 3 days." So I'm 18. I'm driving like, you can't even say this anymore, but I'm driving like an old lady. I'm not crazy. I'm respecting it, but I'm having a ball. I'm loving the hell of it. It's like you hit the gas. Whoa, look at that. You know, like a tiger by the tail. Well, on day 2, I started up and I'm driving and steam starts coming from under the hood. You got to be kidding me.
So scary.
So I parked the car. I don't know anything about, you know, really about running a car, repairing a car. Long story short, he comes back. I'm terrified. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be horrible. He's going to never stop beating me.
Of course.
So I give him the keys. He's like, oh, well, let me go have a look and, you know, whatever. And then he comes back and he goes, after he has the car looked at, he goes, "Hey, it was the thermostat. You did nothing wrong. Sorry you couldn't enjoy the whole weekend with the car." It's like, wow.
How nice.
Every other response would be, "What the hell did you do?"
How nice.
So that, you know, so it's like, okay, it's always nice to have a thoughtful moment when something happens. Like, okay, I'm not trying to make myself out to be a hero, but it's nice to have this mindset. I love my tomato plants. I'm out there every day watering them, nourishing. Oh, look at, I got a bunch of things, and I'm kind of mental about them, right?
Yeah.
So we had a thunderstorm here, and I walked down, and I was the last one to get up, and everybody's like quiet in the kitchen. Oh, we got some bad news for you. What happened? One of your tomato plants tipped over, and all the 7 of the fresh green tomatoes, they came off the plant. They expected me to go blame somebody or whatever. And I take a beat. Of course, I didn't like that. I like, and I go, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But it's nice to have that gear to back up, and say, taking the moment and find out that's not important.
You're so right. But I think you're right. I was the same way too. I think definitely as I've gotten older, things I think would have flipped a switch in me. Now I have zero response, or I'm able to take a step back. I don't think I was able to do that when I was younger, to take a step back. And it's funny, my niece actually shared a story with me that I don't remember. And when she tells me like, oh, I remember when this happened, I'm like, ugh, I really don't. When they were all visiting me in Florida, when her kids were very young. So this is like 20 years ago, 15 years ago. One of her little kids slept on the couch and he wet himself. So she was, obviously concerned, leather couch, whatever. I don't remember this at all. And I'm actually so proud of myself, because she said, when she told me that, I said, I bet a lot of people peed on that couch. Don't even worry about it. And we cleaned it up. And she said it was such a big deal for her child to, not be ashamed, because no one's purposely peeing on themselves. And I was glad to hear that, because I thought, yes, internally, I would like to believe I am this person. Thank goodness that's what I said, because I don't think a kid peeing on a couch is anything to get upset about the kid with. No kid wants to be shamed. Can you imagine had I gone my couch and made the value of my couch more important than this child?
I tell you, that Buddy Heaney moment comes back to me so many. There's probably 10 times in your life, 10 times where you have all the power to crush somebody or really get upset about a situation, and back it up, and you're doing everybody a favor. You're doing yourself a favor, the person a favor, the event a favor, by not reacting like that. Because really, it's not a lot. I'm telling you, 10 times in your lifetime.
No, I believe you. And
kids, right?
I feel like I work on it all the time, because I know I have a short fuse, but I do feel like I value people more than I value things.
And yes, of course.
You see, we're all gone. Everybody does. I don't think everybody does, Tom.
Yeah. We went slot car racing. It's funny that people don't even know what slot cars are. Many.
What is it?
So I have so I'm exploring my neighborhoods, even though I'm only 20 minutes away from where I used to live. This is a whole new neighborhood. It's closer to Tampa. There's little knickknack shops and little store. Where's the dry cleaning? Where's the place to get my car washed? Where do I get my oil changed? So I'm exploring, even though I've been
where you live. Can you walk to a store, or is it a driving thing?
You'd have to walk. You'd have to drive. I'm almost like 0.8 miles just to get to the road.
Gotcha.
And then after then, you have to walk another mile or so to get to anything. Okay. Probably 2 miles to get. So I'm probably 3 miles away from a store.
Gotcha.
So I'm into this one. I said, I got time. I'm going to tool into this little enclave of 8 stores and see what's going on. Cuban shop, Chinese thing, dry cleaners, dancing studio, martial arts, Pizza Hut, so it's Italian food. It's like, and then this one thing said slot cars. And it's funny because I had like a dream or a thought about slot cars a couple 3 days earlier. It's like, this is weird, because I hadn't thought about slot cars since I was a kid. There was a hobby shop across the street when I was a kid in Chicago, where I would, as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, would buy Matchbox cars, and they had a track. You know how you get a track for Christmas? Usually it's 2 cars and you make a loop or something, or maybe under the Christmas tree or something, or sometimes there's a bridge and it goes over or whatever, right? Well, in hobby shops back in the 60s, it was popular to have these full size rooms. I mean, 30 feet by 25 feet. It would take up a space. Huge. 8 lanes of cars, 8 lanes.
What?
Yeah, and I never participated, but I was like, wow, I was like, oh, that's way out of my league. I can never get involved. The local nerds would be racing cars, and it was mesmerizing.
I guess I was raised in a house of girls, so maybe that's why I'm unfamiliar.
So I walk into this place that says slot cars. I feel like I was opening the door and walking into 1967.
Oh, that's
Two old timers are sitting there. There's peg boards with things on hooks,
oh.
car models, and
What is a slot car then?
A-
The things that fit on the tracks?
it's about this big, a little bit bigger than your phone, and it's got a little connector, like a little pin that you put on the track. It's electric track, and then they just go.
Oh,
You get issued a controller that they've got to
okay.
wire in with 3 wires. With
Okay.
nuts and bolts and stick it in. The thing's ancient.
Wow.
Nixon was the last guy to use this thing.
Wow. All
So
right.
I took the gang over to slot cars, and we had a ball racing. Because then the trick is the cars will come off the track. You just can't.
Oh,
So you
okay.
get fast in the straightaway, pull back on your speed around the turns, and accelerate again, pull back. So that makes you go through figure eights and up and downs. It was a blast. So here's the deal. They had their pricing structure. $3 for 15 minutes. You want to make a full investment for a half an hour. Well, that's $6. And a full hour is $12. I'm like, there's no breaks at anything. It's always the same. I go, why wouldn't you just go 50 minutes at a time?
And do you think are people doing that
I was amazed to see this place here. Clearly, always generally empty. Can't be a big money maker. I was chatting up the guys, these 2 old guys. I walked in there, 10 days ago, started chatting them up. You know me. I couldn't get these guys to break for nothing. I go, is this where a lot of chicks are here? Should I come here on a Saturday night? A lot of women? Oh yeah, we got women here.
Well, how old were the guys, do you think?
Older than me. The one guy said he's just coming out of cancer. I think he didn't care anymore. This is what he wants to do. Loves the slot cars. I go, God bless you.
Good for them. So I guess today's answer to that is because I know Alex and Will have the games where they drive Mario Kart, maybe that's the modern version. They asked me if I wanted to play, and I was like, sure, I'll try it. Really horrible because you have to do many things. You have to do your speed. Then you pick a car. You have to pick the wheels and the thing that flies. And I was like,
this is a video game.
Yes. And so how you pick the rotator and how you pick the body of the car and the wheels all matters in how fast you go.
Right.
So I'm just picking the cute stuff. I'm like, I like the pink wheels. And then Will's like, well, your car's not going to go as fast if you go. And I said, how can I know that? And he's like, well, you learn over time. And I said, I'm not going to be that invested in this game. Because then you pick a character and you want to pick a smaller character. So the cars aren't as it's like a whole, It was fun because I kept crashing and I kept laughing because I would fall into space. But it was a lot of fun.
And I've seen my son assemble certain things. When you're assembling your warriors, you're picking out your armor, you're picking out your swords. Yeah, it's fun. But I mean, this is really physical. So if you run it off the track, you got to run over and put it back on the track. Or some old timer comes over and does you a solid, put you back on the track. So a couple of old timers were watching the girls, and the girls had fun. My nieces.
And it's about a race. Then you're trying to win a race, right?
So then just spontaneously said, okay, we're going to do 2-lap races. So 2-lap races. So then, just took about, and then your timers were up on the screen to tell you how fast you did a lap. Fun. It was really a lot of fun. And then
that would actually be a fun date night.
Would be a great little date night. And they did have a couple. They had 2 tracks, so we had the big track. They gave us the big track, and then some locals were on the other track. It was fun.
You should share that on your singles page, like as a thing. I think that'd be super fun for people.
That would be fun. I mean, they do birthday parties. I don't know how much action they've got there at any given night, but these guys are happy.
I don't know.
Not a cash cow.
So guess what I'm doing tomorrow?
What?
Myself and my daughter and her boyfriend, tomorrow, all 3 of us are going to Walgreens and getting our Pfizer shots, our first shot.
Really?
Congratulations. Thank you. We've been online and it kept filling. So I'm up here in the office working, and Alex says, hurry, get online, because we're trying to coordinate so all 3 of us can get to the same locations. We have our shots at the same time,
Yeah.
We finally did. It was a miracle because we all had to sign in separately and do the stuff. So Alex is at 12:50, I'm at 1:05, and Will is at 12:15.
Nice. I've heard nothing but good things about these things running on schedule, by the way.
Yeah. So Yeah. So of course I'm a little anxious. That's why I brought it up. I am a little anxious about it. Just, the unknown and
Of
all that.
course.
So, your phone picks up everything you do, right? And so of course I've been talking a lot about, my concerns, and I recognize that this is a necessary thing. I get it. My only concerns are it's just the fear of the unknown, right? And so my phone, I opened up this morning. Guess what the first news story, because my phone is listening to me, and normally it's food and fun and games because that's all I talk about. Today it shared a story of a new, not a newscaster, but like a news producer in like a Michigan or something, that dies one day after getting the Pfizer shot. So,
He was hit by a truck.
and here's the thing: people die and people get shots. It doesn't necessarily mean it's connected. And of course it just, I think it happened not long ago, but I wish I hadn't seen that, because I always look for signs in the world, and I was like, I want this on this podcast, so if I die a day after I get the shot, what can you do? Like, I feel like, I know you've had your shot, I feel like in order for me to move forward in the world, this is my only option. I have to get vaccinated. I don't want to die from COVID. Clearly, if you get the shot, if you get COVID, I feel like we're all eventually going to get it. At least you won't die, right? That's
Right.
like the whole thing.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. And even when we set up the appointment, you automatically set up your second appointment. So we're already in for both appointments. We got a reminder this morning. So tomorrow's the day. So I will definitely talk about it on Wednesday or Friday, how everything turned out. But it's a big deal. I've been inside my house for a year.
It's affecting people differently too. I mean, I was playing basketball yesterday. One guy couldn't show because he was having a bad reaction to something.
Yeah.
Just wasn't feeling like it. Because me, I got the shot, and
Yeah, most people I have talked to, a sore arm pretty much. And I
yeah,
guess the second shot affects them a little more, but I'm off tomorrow. So that way I can just chill out, whatever. So that's happening. So I was looking up some things I thought you would be interested in talking about, because you're good at guessing. So I pulled up, what are the top 7 items that are selling on Amazon today? The top 7 things that people are buying today.
wow.
So, do you want, now this is just today, because of course it changes all the time, but just try to consider the world half in, half out,
All right, top. Is it a volume thing or a money thing? Like a rowing machine costs $1,000. A baby bottles cost
volume.
$7.
It's a volume.
So we were talking about numbers. We're
Yes.
87,000 of these widgets
Yes.
have sold a day.
Absolutely. Not how much it costs, but the physical product itself. What is the number one thing today that people are buying on Amazon?
Yeah.
Want to guess?
I don't know where to start.
I did break other things down. I broke down
I mean, are they buying
category, electronics, books, and clothing? But this is just overall for today.
I was going to say electronics. People are buying, cameras and microphones or stuff like that. Is all I could think about. Something like that. Am I close in that category?
Yeah, you really are, because yes, our world is very different and we are spending a lot more time inside. Right now, today, the number one thing that people are buying is the Alexa TV remote. Alexa TV remote.
Really?
And to go along with that, the number 2 thing is the Alexa Echo Dot smart speaker. So they're, getting the thing. I haven't set up my TV so I can speak to it yet. I know you can do that. And I do talk to Alexa a lot, but I haven't done that. And you're very good on the money too, because the number 3 thing is Fuji film for the Instamax camera, because right below that is the Instamax camera. People are buying more film than they are buying the camera.
So they're buying physical. They're buying. Is this like a Polaroid camera that it instantly develops the shot? Interesting.
Yeah, those they're retro things, right?
Right.
The number 5 thing. So right now people are buying, okay, we're staying home. I want convenience. I want the Alexa. I want the Dot. Oh, how fun. We'll do retro pictures. The next thing is the Instapot.
Oh, Patrick has one of those. He loves it.
Yeah, I know everybody loves their Instapot. Then I thought number 6 was very interesting. And so tell me what you think about this. The in volume, the number 6 thing are $10 and $20 PlayStation gift cards. So that kind of makes sense too, right? Like they're giving gift cards to play. And then just the number 7, and I don't know what this is, but you probably do. It's the Donkey Kong Nintendo Switch game. That's the number 7. I don't
Very
know.
nice.
Now,
That's interesting.
I did a breakdown. What do you think in toys? I don't know how familiar you are with toys, but the top toy that people are buying in volume right now today on Amazon. What do you think the top toy? And I'm going to narrow it down for you and call it a game. The top game in
Really?
toys that people are buying today.
I don't know. I don't know. I would imagine with some sort of app.
I would think so too. It's Jenga.
Really?
Jenga, people, I didn't know people were still, now it didn't say giant Jenga. I've seen the giant Jenga and I almost
Right.
thought about buying it, but I thought it would kill the cats.
It's comforting to know that people are going old school and new school at the same time. I
Right?
mean, like phonograph players, I'm sure are selling a little bit more now than they used to,
Sure.
because I mean, you went 30 years without buying a phonograph
Oh, please. Yeah.
player, and then people are automating their houses because folks are getting used to it. I mean, I'm not a big Alexa fan, but
Yeah.
Patrick uses it all the time for music, and I'm like the other day, Alexa, set a timer for 20 minutes. A timer set for 20 minutes. I go, this, you know what? That's kind of fun.
I do it all the time when I'm in the kitchen, and I usually every day ask for a haiku. Every day I have Alexa tell me a haiku for the
Really?
day. I love Alexa. She knows all the stuff. The number one book, I'm not even going to have you guess because it's books, and I have to actually look this up. It's called A Warning by Anonymous. So I'm taking it's about like
Right.
so, and then I think you'll like this. The number one item selling in clothing is, do you want to guess? It's something that women are buying.
Oh, they're buying those crazy yoga pants to make their butts look perfect.
Oh, that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
I'm
It
seeing
is
that on TikTok.
okay. It's by Levi's, the women's shape pull-on skinny jeans. That's
I'm
the
not
number one.
far from that. I'm in the,
You're not
yeah.
far. So I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah,
I
somebody
like to know
developed
what people
something
are buying.
that offers a little optical illusion the way that it was. It looks like one of those spirals going into, like one of those eye things.
Isn't it funny? Big butts are a thing. Like they really big, shapely butts. I think the Kardashians had a lot to do with it, and it's funny to me. But yeah, so those are the top items selling
I
on Amazon.
mean, Patrick and I joined the gym. I've not been there yet. I mean, they're not
Yeah.
wearing masks, and I'm going to wait,
Ugh.
whatever. But there was a whole section of about 3 machines that are just for your butt.
Ah, yes.
But this, but that, but. It was funny.
Interesting. Yeah, because it's only for women. They're not really promoting men to have large backsides, are they?
Can I tell you, for the first time in a long time, I turned around and had a look at my butt.
Oh, I don't like to do that.
Oh my God, it was horrific.
I don't like to do that.
I go,
It's
oh my
best
God,
not to.
that's an old man saggy ass. I thought the rowing would help or the walking would help. Oh my
I don't think
God.
we should hurt ourselves by looking at our
I had a
backsides.
fold there. And I go, what's that? Is something melting back there?
So does that mean you're going to start doing the butt machines?
I don't know what it was, but it was horrific.
You know, there was a whole segment on Sex and the City about old man's saggy backside, where Kim Cattrall, the Samantha character, has sex with an older guy. And so, of course, she dims the lights and stuff because he's much older than her, like probably in his 70s, right? So she dims the lights. The sex was very good. And she woke up the next morning pleased with herself. He spent the night until he got up and walked naked to the bathroom. And she saw his backside view. And she was done, and that's it. Everything was over. Cannot tolerate it.
I better walk backwards. Hey, baby, can I get you a coffee?
Throw your shorts on.
I was horrified.
There is enough that we're trying to take care of. To worry about what the back of us looks like, come on, that's way too much pressure.
Please.
No, absolutely not. When are you going back to basketball? That should have an effect.
We played. Yeah, hopefully it'll tighten things up a bit. I was surprised.
Well, when you played basketball before the pandemic, it was what, twice a week?
Yep.
Okay, so what's the game plan now? Once a week?
Same way, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Played yesterday. We'll play tomorrow. I mean, we're trying to gather enough guys. Some guys aren't fully vaccinated yet, so the guys that are playing. I mean, we only had 8 guys yesterday, so yeah, I know there's 2 more guys that are finishing up, and so as the month goes on, we should get closer to the full game. Be fun.
No, that's nice.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Ted Nugent?
No.
So, Ted Nugent is a Trump supporter, and he
Yeah.
was very vocal about coronavirus, saying that his exact words were that this is not a real pandemic. That is a quote from Ted Nugent, not a real pandemic. Well, the last 10 days, he was very sick, thought he was going to die, got himself tested. Do you want to guess what's wrong with Mr. Ted Nugent right now? What made him so sick?
You're leading me down one particular path, and I'll go in and I'll say I'll bet he's got the COVID.
You're right, Tom. He's got the COVID. But here's the funny twist to the story. Very dogmatic, this is not real. And there's a lot of quotes of him saying, oh, when people die, the doctors are just saying COVID. It's just more interesting. They're feeding into the panic, on and on and on. So he's sick for 10 days. He finally gets tested, and he's quoted saying, I thought I was dying. I was struggling. I had a very hard time. So he called it. He said, he didn't announce it, I've got COVID. He said, I've got the Chinese shit. And then he said, he's not getting the vaccination, not doing it. I think the reason I brought this story up is I think some people will not be convinced.
Take it to the grave is the phrase that comes to mind.
Yeah.
There you go. Good luck with that. But he's taking other medicines though, right? He's not like medicine free.
I did not read how he was treating himself for COVID. I read enough to satisfy what I wanted to know, which is,
well, that's not good.
Well, once I read he refuses to get the shot, I was like, I'm done reading this story. I don't need to try to dig into your psyche of why you refuse something that's clearly occurring to you specifically.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting because, with all the stuff that's going on in the world, I guess I've convinced myself, well, if someone has like a personal experience, maybe it'll become more, the people that are the deniers, maybe it'll become more real to them. I forget about the people that will deny no matter what. I forget about that.
Take it to the grave.
Yeah. So that's Mr.
I always find it interesting that people will pick and choose their medical science. Like so you believe in antibiotics if you've got a bad infection, right? But this medicine, no, this medicine good. And based on what? We're all at the mercy of, somebody a hell of a lot smarter that has figured this out and thought through it, right?
Right. And he was definitely throughout the article was picking and choosing. And his big thought from the article I read was, we're all being duped. And so he's not going to have any part of it. So even though he got sick and thought he was dying, he still thinks we're all being duped on this fake virus.
Oh, you're being duped, all right.
So I thought that was fascinating. Have you got other fun stuff? I have a million things here.
I've got time for one more, darling. I'm on at noon at HSN.
Okay. I looked up funny dating stories because I like stuff like that. Yes, have you got, you have a million dating stories, but have you got, I was trying to remember when I was looking these up. Have you got a dating story that you haven't shared with us yet, where it was just so out of the box where you thought, this is going to be a great story later? Like, I can't believe this just happened to me. Because I feel like you've had some very interesting, I feel like you've told me a lot of your stories, but did you have that where you're like, yeah, I'm definitely going to share this story?
I have had that story.
Which one? Is it the one have we heard it?
What's that?
Have we heard it?
Well, I told it once before. My brother is still here. He didn't get the chance to say hi last time.
Oh, yes. Hi. Come on in.
I don't want to say favorite brother, but come on in, Jimmy.
Should I put on my mask?
No, you don't have to wear a mask.
Okay.
Just say hi to Melinda.
Hi, how are you?
Go down a little
How
lower.
are you?
Have you guys been?
We're talking about dating stories.
We're talking about dating stories. Now, so remind me where you live. Where do you live?
The Chicago area.
That's right. You're
Northwest
Chicago.
Suburbs.
Okay, good. So the weather in Florida probably are you feeling like it's too humid, too hot?
A little too early for this kind of heat, but it's welcome. We had a lot of rain, yesterday and the day before. But no, Chicago I think it was supposed to be sleeting Tuesday.
Yes.
A little bit of snow, right? So
yes, I live in Brooklyn, but my niece sent me a picture this morning she lives in Indiana, snow everywhere. She's like, look what I woke up to today. Snow
crazy.
everywhere.
it's like Father of the Bride. We watched that movie the other day,
oh.
and it snowed on the day of the wedding.
Yep.
In California.
Oh.
In January.
In January 6th, I believe the date was.
Oh, that's funny. That's so funny.
So you
So
guys,
yeah, so is today your last day then? You're heading back?
yeah. I'll wave. I'm flying at 3.
Okay.
I'll wave.
All right. So what's been your favorite Florida memory since you've been there?
Well, we went to the track on Sunday.
Yes.
That was fun with the entire group. And then yesterday was it was my birthday yesterday.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Yeah, me and Adolph. So April 20th. And so everybody, Pat put together a, shepherd's pie.
Vegan
shepherd's pie. And I'll tell you what, he made 8 separate casseroles for 8 people. Cat out of the bag, full disclosure. And
ladies, he's single.
There was not a bite left.
Everybody ate everything
across the table.
to the
I believe
cornware.
that.
So no, it's really good. It was really good. Yeah. We've been doing vegan. It's like living in Vegas doing vegan. So yeah, he's really good. It's hard to do because it's a mess. It's a kitchen mess. It's a nightmare. But we saw things that he'll need for Christmas. It was an identifier in a sense. He needs a spice rack, huge.
See?
Yeah. Probably needs a woman to clean up some of the instruments around
this group doesn't go for that type of talk. Okay. You were doing well right up to that point.
You mean he needs a male friend to clean up the mess in the kitchen?
He needs an assistant. I don't care what sex.
No, there's no question. A woman wouldn't put up with all those instruments around the house.
Yeah, we got drums in the kitchen. We're all in agreement that a woman's not standing for the drums in the kitchen.
I mean, it depends on if she's a fun woman, she'll be fine with the drums in the kitchen. That's fine.
If she likes the organ, then she might like the drums.
Wow. We're ripping here.
I really hope that you guys are taking a lot of family photos while you can. Are you, Tom?
And we'll
you guys
do
taking
what?
a lot of pictures while everybody's together?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, we took a picture on our walk today.
No, that's really important. I mean, the fact that you guys are able to all get together like this is so very nice.
He captures the moments better than anybody because everybody wants pictures, but they don't want to take the pictures.
Okay, that's a great photo. So is Tom the picture taker in the group then?
I drive everybody nuts, but look at all these pictures that they get.
Yeah. No, that's really important. I'm so glad.
Ellie made chocolate cupcakes with yellow yellow cupcakes with chocolate frosting. That's my favorite. What's your favorite?
What's your favorite cake? Your birthday cake?
Bavarian cream pie.
Nobody's making that for you.
People make it for me.
Is that considered a cake?
Wow. Now he's calling you out on your birthday dinner, your birthday dessert.
But it's the sweet. So if it was a sweet, it's Bavarian.
You've had people make a Bavarian cake for you?
It's called Bavarian cream pie, and yes, I have.
Wow. You want to name and you want to do a shout out? Is it an old woman? Did a man ever make that for you?
I've had men buy it for me.
That's nothing. I mean, shit.
Who cares? I still got what I wanted. Back down, sir.
It's not made with love.
Well, I would rather have
cash.
I would rather have a man buy the perfect thing for me than try to make something that he has no skills in. We should both enjoy it.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
A bunch of things coming
on that lie. We got to wrap up the show.
All right. Well,
did you talk about the motor racing yesterday?
I did.
Yes.
Really neat.
Slot cars.
You got a little jewel here, right? 5
Wasn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Didn't that feel like the hobby shop across the street?
Yeah.
In the 60s?
It was good. And the folks.
No, I told Tom, I think that's a great idea for a date. That's a fun activity. You could take someone on a date.
Absolutely. Nobody's probably experienced anything like that. They are also open Saturday night. They go Saturday night late. They race till 7 every day, except for Monday they're dark and Sunday they're dark. And then Saturday night they just go. I'd like to walk over there and see what's going on.
You could tell your date that I've got a convertible. And then go over there.
I got 7 cars.
I got a red Stang. I got a 65 Mustang. Here it is.
That was fun.
No, I love it.
I'll let you guys
Nice
finish
We'll
to
wrap
up.
up. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Nice
He's
to
gonna
see
he's gonna
you.
help me. He's gonna help Patrick run the camera for my home shopping show.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. So what time are you on today so we can let everybody know?
Oh, I'll be done before I get this thing out. I'm
Oh.
on a 12:36, but you know me, I get nervous.
I
I
understand.
want to get set up and be ready to go at
Yeah.
12.
Nope,
15.
I understand. I'm doing a live show at 1 o'clock today with a news station, and I always get very jacked up for the live ones because, and I've never worked with them. So you hope for the best. I did a live show yesterday right after the verdict was announced, and my live shot was a black screen. So I just had to smile and talk, and she's asking questions, and I'm like, please, please let this work, because what do you do when you're talking to a black screen? I have no
It's
idea.
horrible. I'm working off of my phone, so I don't get to see what's going on.
Yes.
But I have signals with Patrick. I'm on B-roll, 2-shot.
That helps so much.
Yeah, so but it's only 7 minutes. So I'll suffer through that.
Okay. Well, good. We'll have some great shows. Are you on again tonight?
I'm not, but I'm back on with the solar stuff on Friday, which I'm excited about. And I'll tell that story. That's the crazy story, the dating story. I'll tell that if you want me to next on Friday.
Okay. And just as a reminder, I really hope I have.
We've got a guest on Friday too.
We have a guest on Friday. Of course, I don't know where I put the book. So yes, guest with Adrienne Lopez about To Love, Honor, and Betray, the book that she co-authored, and they were on the Oprah Winfrey Show talking about it. So we're very excited to have her on Friday.
All right. Well, that's another one in the can. Thanks for stopping back and unpacking some shit with Wise and McKinsey.
Great.
And we'll see you on Friday.
See you then.